Howdy everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how I put together these cute little fabric Christmas trees. They're super easy to make and fun as well. So let's get to crafting. Alright, so to make our little trees we're going to need some fabric, and I have here a cotton fabric and I've cut out 3 different sizes of squares, and for each one I'm going to cut 2. So the first size you're going to need is 2 squares that are 4.5 by 4.5, and we're going to place them with the 2 right sides facing each other, and then we'll just pin them to hold them together. The next size is going to be a 6 by 6 inch square. Put them with the right sides facing each other again, and we'll pin them just to hold it. The next size is going to be a 7 by 7 inch square. Again, cut 2. So for each one, you're going to cut 2 squares. Pin. Now we're going to get ready to sew all the way around. We're going to leave an opening on any one of the sides, and you can do about 2.5 inches in size. I'm going to do 2.5 inch opening, so I'm just going to mark it here, and then I'm going to sew around with a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around till I get to this other pin. Again, we're going to leave that opening. I'm going to do the same with these other 2 pairs, and we're going to go ahead and do this either with a sewing machine or you can do it by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and do it with my sewing machine. So we have this little opening here, and then we're going to go ahead and turn over our squares. Okay, make sure you get your little corners out. I'm going to get a little dowel stick that I have and just push those out. And then we're going to go ahead and iron it. Make sure we iron that little opening. Make sure these little bits are folded down. Oh, one thing I should have done before turning it over is the little corners. You might want to snip the little corner, the extra fabric. Make sure you don't cut where you sewed it. Okay, so let's do that to all the other squares. Okay, so now I'm just ironing them. Alright, so remember we do have this opening right here on all of them, so we want to go ahead and either stitch it closed. You could do a top stitch all the way around all of them. I'm just going to use my glue gun, which is super easy. Just a little tiny bit of glue along the opening. Press it down. There we go. Trim off any little threads. And there we go. I've done all 4 the same way. So now let's fold them and create our little tree. Alright, I'm going to start with the largest square. You can start with the small one. Doesn't matter, the middle one. We're going to do the same thing with all of them. We're going to fold them like this in a triangle. Fold them in half. Iron to mark that fold. Okay, so now we're going to fold it again in half. This time we're just going to pinch. Just make sure the little ends are meeting. Just pinch and rub it like that to mark a little line there, and then we're going to take a nice big straight pin and put it right there in the center, just like that. And then you're going to crisscross. You're going to crisscross this one over, and then this one as well, so that you have this. Okay? So just make sure that they're as close to the pin as possible. You want these little corners sticking out the 2 sides, and then we can iron it to mark those. Help it to stay like that, but we're going to go ahead and put a little clip on each side to hold it. I can remove this one now. We're going to do the same thing to all three. Okay, now it doesn't matter which way you crisscross it. You could do this and then this, or this and this, but just do them all the same. So if you're going to put down the one on the right first and then the one on the left on top of that, do all of them the same. So if you do the left down first and then the right after, then of course do the same for all of them, just so that they all look the same. Okay, again, we're going to do the same thing to this one. We're just going to do something a little bit different. Let's get a piece of ribbon, a thin ribbon or string, whatever you want to use to hang your little ornament with. So just make it as big as you're going to need it, you know, depending on where you're going to hang it. Okay, make a little knot where you've, you know, the little two loose ends here. Make a little knot. Just like that. I'm going to trim off some of that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did over here. Fold it in half. Just like that. Iron. Oops, let's grab this pin from here. We're going to use that. And then we're going to fold it again to mark the center. And there's where we're going to put our little pin one more time. Now, before we do our little folding, our little crossing over, we're going to add this little loop in there. So we're going to put some glue right there in the center spot there. And then we can put this in there. Make sure your little knot is like not right up. Your little knot is in there, not against the edge. We just want to see the little ribbon sticking out, okay? So just put it in there. And then you can do your crossover. Since I was doing my right first, I'll do my right and then my left. And I'm just going to clip to hold, take off the pin. All right, so we have our three pieces like that. Let's go on to our next step. All right, so now we're going to take our little triangles here that we've created, and we're going to go ahead and either hand stitch, or you can use your hot glue gun. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use my hot glue gun. So see the side where this flaps up like that? This little corner right here. I'm going to remove the little clip. And right in there, I'm going to put some hot glue. Now if I didn't use any hot glue, I can stitch it to make sure you blind stitch it so that you don't see what you have sewn. Okay? So then on this other side, we're going to lift this. And in this little corner, add some glue, pinch it down, okay? And that's all you need. If you want it a little more stable, you can go ahead and do a little bit of up here if you feel like you need that. You can do that, but that's all you need to do, just the two little corners, or like I said, you can stitch them. Okay, those are done. Let's do this one. I'm going to make sure that these little flaps are on the opposite side. So I'll take off this one, lift that out of the way. Glue in the corner, pinch this one, lift that, a little bit of glue there, pinch, just like that. That's all you need to do. All right, so now we're going to put all of these together. So now we're going to go ahead and turn them around so that we have these little triangular flaps like that. So turn them around like that. And we're going to take the big one. Start with that one. You can build upward or you can build downward. I don't know, I find it easier to start with the bottom one. Okay, so we're going to do the bottom one right here. And you're going to make sure that this little point that's in here, that we're sliding in, lines up with this one. So you can just feel for it. Lay it down, make sure it's all nice and straight. And look what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift up this little flap and add some glue right in there. Okay, so we do the same thing over here. Lift up the flap, put some glue in there, and glue it down. You could go in there and stitch it on these little corners here to hold all that together. But look how easy it is with a glue gun. Okay, I'm gonna pop this open here on the top one. These two flaps, slide that in. It doesn't have to go all the way in, just a little bit. Just look at your little tree, look at the little branches. Line up your little tip with that other tip. Okay. And then, again, we're going to lift the flap. Put some glue in there. See how the little tip that the big one, I put a little bit of glue in there. I didn't need that because it's all going to get hidden in there. Okay, lift up the flap. Put some glue. And there we go. And that's what we're going to have. Now, you could leave it as is or decorate it. I'm going to add a couple of little bows because this ornament can hang this way or it could hang this way. So I'm going to add a little bow on each side of my ornament. So we just get some ribbon. Now I'm going to suggest that when you choose your ribbon, get the double facing ribbon. It's going to cost a little bit more, but it keeps you from having to twist, your ribbon around so that you have like the nice side facing upward. So that's what I'm going to recommend. Get your double facing ribbon, which means, oops, let me cut that in a little diagonal, which means the ribbon will be, nice on both sides. I think I said that. I'm not sure, but I repeated it. Okay. One more little bow. These are really fun to make. You could buy the little bows already made, actually. You don't have to put a little bow. You can put, whatever little tiny ornament you find, some buttons, whatever you want to use, rhinestones. Okay, let's get some glue on here. I'll put one on this side. Turn it around. I'll put another one on this side as well. Now once again, our little ornament could be already finished just like that. You don't have to do anything else to it, but you can embellish it. Now I have these little snowflake buttons that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, little packet. They're little buttons, so they have a little loop on the back. I don't know if you can see that. You weren't even seeing the buttons. There we go, right there. Okay, so I'm going to grab as many as you want. As many as I want. It doesn't have to be little buttons. It could be little rhinestones, like I said. And just decorate your little tree. I am just going to put on each of these little points going down a little button. Actually, let me go ahead and cut off the backs on all of them. Oops. This is what I'm doing. You have your little button like that. And I'm just putting my wire cutters like that, with the flat side down and cutting as much as I can off the back of that little button. And I'm cutting those off just so they lay a little bit flatter. You don't have to do that. See how cute that looks? Little snowflake ornaments. You can put as many as you want. I'm just going to put 3. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, but in this case, instead of putting it on the little points, I'm just going to put it right here where it crisscrosses. You want to avoid all these little webs, and don't use your hot glue gun. Use any other fabric, any other glue that works on fabric and plastic, depending on, what you're using, or your little rhinestones. And use that glue instead, or sew buttons on if that's what you want to do. There we go. Alright, so I have completed the little Christmas tree ornament. I think it looks really cute. I know a lot of people are making these. This is what it looks like on the back once again, or really this could be the front. Now in the beginning of the video, I had another one, so here it is. This is done in a striped fabric. It looks really cute. Now this one, when I made it, I tucked it in a little bit further, so you can do that also. But just make sure these little points are showing, and that so that you can see that they're little branches. You don't want to, have those hidden away. Now this is a great project for anyone. If you got some kiddos that are wanting to learn how to sew, this is a great project for them to get started, because it is just straight stitching. And they can do this by hand, or if they're old enough to use a sewing machine, they'll learn just straight stitching. It is a great learning experience, because then you can also do hand stitching rather than using the hot glue like I did, when you're going to stitch these areas right here, so that you attach that to that and this to that and so forth. I think they look really, really cute. So I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too give me a big old thumbs up, and leave a kind comment down below and let me know what you think of these little Christmas tree ornaments. Have you already created these? Let us know in the comment below. And also, I'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. I had not been saying that in my videos, so I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And also hit that notification bell so that you get notified as soon as I upload a video. Thank you for watching. And as always, enjoy.